What if I told you that under Greenland's frozen surface, beneath 2 miles of solid ice, there's a hidden world no human has ever seen? Not just barren rock or empty voids, but vast rivers still flowing in total darkness. Ancient lakes, untouched for millions of years. Valleys, mountains, and entire lost landscapes, preserved in ice like a forgotten museum of Earth's past. And maybe, just maybe, signs of civilizations that existed before the world froze over. The ground beneath Greenland isn't dead, it's alive, and it's keeping secrets that could change everything we know about Earth's history and our future. Are you ready to step into a world trapped beneath the ice? Most of us think of Greenland as a frozen desert, a vast sheet of ice and snow that has always been, and will always be, untouched and lifeless. But what if that image is wrong? What if beneath that endless white shield, there's an entirely different Greenland, hidden and alive? In today's journey, you'll discover that underneath Greenland's ice sheet lies a complex and dynamic world, a network of ancient rivers still carving paths in total darkness. Mysterious lakes, some larger than entire cities, sealed off from the atmosphere for millennia. Frozen valleys and mountains that predate humanity's first steps. And tantalizing signs that maybe, just maybe, early human civilizations touched these lands before they vanished under the advancing ice. We'll uncover how scientists use satellites, ice-penetrating radar, and daring field expeditions to map this invisible world. We'll explore theories about what ancient life could have looked like here. And we'll discuss why this matters right now, not just for historians and scientists, but for all of us living in a world that's rapidly warming. Because Greenland is not just a relic of the past, it's a living key to understanding Earth's history and possibly its future. Stay with us as we peel back the ice layer by layer, revealing a hidden world that has waited patiently, silently beneath our feet.
Before we dive into today's mystery, here's something important. Over 95% of people who watch our videos aren't subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy this type of content, support this channel by subscribing. It only takes 2 clicks for you, but it means a lot to us. It helps us grow, reach more curious minds, and build a strong community around the questions that matter. So go ahead, hit that button, and let's keep exploring together.
To truly understand the hidden world beneath Greenland's ice, we have to turn back the clock. Not just hundreds or thousands of years, but millions. There was a time when Greenland wasn't buried under ice at all. Imagine lush valleys, rivers cutting through green landscapes, forests bustling with life. Roughly 50 million years ago, during a period known as the Eocene, Greenland was a place where ancient crocodiles, tropical plants, and dense forests thrived under warm, humid skies. It was part of a vibrant ecosystem, far different from the frozen desert we know today. But the Earth is not a static place. It breathes, shifts, and evolves over time. Around 2.6 million years ago, during the beginning of the Pleistocene epoch, the time of the great ice ages, the planet began to cool dramatically. With each successive ice age, glaciers expanded, carving deep scars into the land, grinding down mountains, and burying valleys under tons of ice. Greenland, caught in this global shift, slowly transformed from a lush paradise into a frozen fortress. The first thin layers of ice crept across Greenland's landscape like a creeping tide. Over tens of thousands of years, snowfall piled up, compressed into ice under its own weight, layer by layer, year after year. Each snowflake that fell was a tiny time capsule, trapping air bubbles, dust, pollen, an unbroken record of Earth's past climate and atmosphere. Over millennia, that ice grew thicker and heavier. It pressed down on the land, sinking valleys lower and forcing rivers underground. Some lakes were sealed off entirely, forming isolated worlds completely untouched by sunlight or surface life. Today, Greenland's ice sheet covers roughly 80% of the island, up to 3 kilometers thick in some places. It's so heavy that it has literally depressed the land beneath it, pushing Greenland's rocky core deeper into the Earth's crust. But here's where it gets fascinating. Beneath that seemingly uniform ice sheet is not just solid bedrock. There are landscapes still shaped by rivers that existed long before the ice ever formed. Vast canyons, some deeper than the Grand Canyon itself, remain hidden. Valleys and mountain ranges are locked in place, frozen in time. And more intriguingly, buried within these landscapes might lie remnants of life and civilizations we never knew existed. Entire chapters of Earth's story, waiting quietly for rediscovery. In a way, Greenland's ice sheet is less like a blanket and more like a time vault, preserving not just the climate history of the planet, but possibly evidence of forgotten worlds beneath. Scientists first began to suspect these hidden features in the mid-20th century. Using seismic surveys, essentially sending shock waves through the ice and measuring how they bounce back, they detected anomalies far below the surface. But it wasn't until the rise of satellite radar and airborne ice-penetrating technologies that the real picture started to emerge. What they found was astonishing. Deep beneath the ice, researchers mapped out massive river networks, one of them stretching over 700 kilometers, nearly the length of Germany. They discovered subglacial lakes, some nearly as large as Lake Tahoe in the United States, and they uncovered undulating, mountainous terrains that hinted at a Greenland far older and more complex than anyone had ever imagined. One of the most mind-bending discoveries came from ice core drilling projects. By extracting long cylinders of ice, scientists could read Greenland's climatic history like pages of a book, tracing back more than 100,000 years. These ice cores revealed periods when the ice sheet had significantly melted, raising the possibility that during warmer times, much of Greenland's hidden world may have been temporarily exposed, teeming with life once again. And if there were windows of warmth, could it be possible that early humans, or even unknown ancient cultures, set foot on Greenland's fertile grounds before the final Great Freeze? The idea remains speculative, but tantalizing enough to drive new research missions today. What we once thought was a barren, icy plateau is, in reality, a buried, dynamic, and possibly inhabited world, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about Earth's past. When you imagine rivers, you probably picture flowing waters winding through forests and valleys under open skies. But beneath Greenland's ice sheet, rivers exist in a realm of eternal darkness, flowing silently through secret channels carved into the bedrock. Scientists first confirmed the existence of these hidden rivers using a remarkable tool: ice-penetrating radar. Flying aircraft across the surface of Greenland, researchers sent radio waves deep into the ice, measuring the time it took for the waves to bounce back. The variations they detected painted an extraordinary picture: an ancient river system, still intact, still active. One of the largest subglacial rivers discovered, nicknamed the Greenland Grand Canyon, is over 750 kilometers long. In some sections, it cuts deeper into the rock than even parts of the real Grand Canyon in Arizona. These rivers are not fueled by rainfall, of course. No rain reaches them. Instead, they are fed by meltwater created under intense pressure at the base of the ice. As the ice slowly grinds across the land, it generates heat through friction and geothermal energy from the Earth's interior, causing the bottom layers to melt and form rivers that snake through the frozen underworld. Some of these rivers converge into enormous lakes, creating aquatic oases sealed away from the rest of the planet. But what's truly mind-boggling is that many of these rivers may have existed before the ice covered Greenland and continued flowing under the ice for millions of years. Imagine rivers that have not seen the light of day since early humans first learned to make fire. In addition to rivers, Greenland hides something even more extraordinary: vast, isolated lakes trapped under thousands of meters of ice. The first major subglacial lake in Greenland was discovered only recently, in the early 2000s. Since then, dozens more have been mapped. These lakes exist because the immense pressure of the ice lowers the melting point of water. Even though temperatures remain far below freezing at the surface, deep below, water can persist in liquid form. Some lakes are massive, stretching tens of kilometers across. One notable example is the lake discovered beneath the northeastern Greenland ice sheet, covering an area comparable to that of a small city. Scientists believe this lake may have remained liquid for tens of thousands of years, perhaps even longer, creating a unique and completely isolated environment. What mysteries lie in these ancient waters? Could unknown microbial life forms exist there, evolved in complete isolation? Could sediments at the bottom of the lakes preserve evidence of past warm periods? Or even hints of ecosystems that once flourished above ground? Researchers are planning bold missions to drill down into these lakes using sterile equipment, hoping to avoid contamination while exploring one of the most untouched environments on Earth. The stakes are high. If life exists here, it could offer clues about how life might survive in the ice-covered oceans of moons like Europa or Enceladus. Beyond rivers and lakes, Greenland's subglacial world holds entire landscapes, frozen snapshots of ancient Earth. Beneath the ice lies rugged mountain ranges, deep valleys, winding canyons, and even what scientists believe could be ancient lakebeds and floodplains. Radar maps show intricate patterns etched into the bedrock, V-shaped valleys suggesting long-lost rivers, smooth basins where lakes once sat, jagged peaks that were once mountain summits, now trapped under ice. One of the most remarkable discoveries is a preserved landscape in northwest Greenland that has been hidden under ice for over 2.7 million years. Scientists studying sediment cores found organic material, tiny fragments of ancient plants, buried deep beneath the ice. This stunning find suggests that before Greenland froze over completely, it supported tundra ecosystems, possibly forests, and diverse wildlife. It's as if an entire ancient world was put into cryogenic sleep, preserved with incredible fidelity, waiting for the ice to retreat. Now comes one of the most intriguing and controversial questions. Could there have been ancient human or pre-human presence on Greenland before it froze? Mainstream science is cautious. The current understanding suggests that large-scale human settlement is unlikely because Greenland likely froze long before Homo sapiens emerged. But not all researchers are convinced it's that simple. Some theories propose that during particularly warm interglacial periods, parts of Greenland may have been ice-free and potentially habitable. Geological evidence shows that Greenland's ice sheet has melted significantly during past periods when global temperatures were only a few degrees higher than today. If such periods lasted long enough, say several thousand years, it's plausible that early human-like species, such as Homo erectus, or even very ancient civilizations could have explored, migrated through, or briefly inhabited parts of Greenland's landscape. No direct evidence of human activity has been found beneath the ice yet, but considering how little of Greenland's hidden world has been explored, the door remains slightly open. Even if we never find evidence of civilizations, what is buried there, the ancient ecosystems, landscapes, and climate records, is every bit as fascinating. Greenland's subglacial world is not just a frozen wasteland, it's a colossal, secret archive of Earth's dynamic, ever-changing story. It's easy to think of Greenland's buried rivers, lakes, and landscapes as something distant, an ancient mystery sealed under miles of ice with little impact on our modern lives. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Today, Greenland is at the center of one of the most urgent challenges facing humanity: climate change. Over the last few decades, satellite imagery has shown that Greenland's ice sheet is melting at an accelerating rate. Gigatons of ice are disappearing each year, pouring into the Atlantic Ocean and contributing to rising sea levels around the world. If the entire Greenland ice sheet were to melt, which would take centuries if not longer, it could raise global sea levels by more than 7 meters, over 23 feet. Entire coastal cities would be submerged. Entire island nations could vanish. Even small, incremental rises, like the few centimeters we're already experiencing, are enough to cause devastating flooding in vulnerable regions. But there's more. As the ice melts, the hidden rivers and lakes beneath Greenland are awakening. Subglacial lakes that once stayed sealed under thick ice are beginning to drain suddenly, sometimes collapsing the ice sheet above them. This movement changes how the ice flows across the landscape, sometimes speeding it up, sending more ice crashing into the ocean. Scientists have even discovered that some subglacial lakes periodically fill and drain in cycles, creating pressure that can fracture the overlying ice. Understanding how these hidden water systems behave is crucial to predicting future sea level rise. What lies beneath Greenland is not just a curiosity, it's a critical piece of the global climate puzzle. Moreover, studying Greenland's buried ecosystems can teach us vital lessons about resilience. If microbial life exists in subglacial lakes, surviving in complete darkness, isolated for millennia, it shows how life can adapt to extreme changes, a powerful symbol for our own need to adapt in a rapidly shifting world. And the landscapes frozen beneath Greenland? They hold invaluable data about past climate cycles, times when the planet warmed naturally, how ecosystems responded, and what tipping points triggered major shifts. This information is like a warning system, helping scientists model and prepare for the future changes Earth is already undergoing. In a sense, Greenland is speaking to us. Its ancient rivers, its hidden valleys, its secret lakes, they're all sending a message. The past and the future are more connected than we realize, and what we choose to do now will shape what survives tomorrow. Discovering the hidden world beneath Greenland's ice isn't just a scientific triumph, it's also a call to action. Because what lies frozen beneath our feet is fragile, and what we do in the coming years will decide whether these ancient landscapes endure or are lost forever. But how exactly can we face the challenges that Greenland's ice is revealing? It begins with understanding. Knowledge is the first line of defense. The more we learn about Greenland's subglacial systems, the lakes, the rivers, the sediment records, the ancient ecosystems, the better we can predict how the ice sheet will respond to a warming planet. This is why massive international efforts are underway. Organizations like NASA's Operation Icebridge and the European Space Agency's Cryosat mission are flying repeated surveys over Greenland, mapping the ice with laser altimeters and radar to measure thinning, movement, and hidden structures deep below the surface. Meanwhile, daring field missions are drilling ice cores and extracting sediments from the bottom of subglacial lakes. These samples are priceless. They hold records of past atmospheric conditions, ocean temperatures, vegetation types, even volcanic events. By decoding these clues, scientists can build models that forecast how fast Greenland's ice will melt and what cascading effects that melting could have on global sea levels, weather patterns, and ecosystems. But science alone isn't enough. Understanding must be paired with action. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions remains the single most powerful step humanity can take. Every fraction of a degree we prevent from warming makes a difference. Studies show that if global temperatures can be stabilized within 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, much of Greenland's ice sheet could be preserved. Failing to act, however, could trigger irreversible melting, committing future generations to a dramatically reshaped world. And it's not just about governments or industries. Each of us, in small but meaningful ways, contributes to the story Greenland is trying to tell. Supporting policies that prioritize renewable energy, reducing personal carbon footprints, whether through the way we travel, the food we consume, or the products we buy. Educating others about the importance of preserving Earth's frozen archives. All these actions ripple outward, becoming part of a collective force for change. There's another dimension to facing Greenland's challenges too: curiosity and wonder. Greenland's hidden rivers, ancient lakes, and fossilized landscapes remind us of the incredible resilience and beauty of our planet. They urge us to reconnect with a sense of awe, a feeling that's often lost in the rush of everyday life. When we remember that we live on a world capable of preserving entire forgotten ecosystems beneath miles of ice, we regain perspective. We remember that humanity is not separate from nature. We are deeply intertwined with it. Facing Greenland's hidden world means embracing that connection. It means recognizing that protecting this planet's ancient secrets is not just about saving scientific data or beautiful landscapes. It's about safeguarding the only home we have ever known. Because somewhere, buried under the ice, untouched by time, there are rivers still flowing, there are lakes still waiting, and there are stories still untold. It is up to us to ensure those stories are not erased before we ever have the chance to hear them. Beneath Greenland's vast frozen surface lies a hidden world. A world shaped by ancient rivers, secret lakes, lost landscapes, and the echoes of a forgotten Earth. It's a place where time itself seems suspended, where valleys and mountains remain untouched, and where the silent flow of water carves unseen paths through the darkness. We've journeyed today through millions of years of history, peeling back the layers of ice to glimpse the Greenland that once was, and perhaps the Greenland that could be again. We've seen how the ice preserves clues to past climates, ancient ecosystems, and possibly even forgotten windows of human migration. We've uncovered how today's warming plan is not just revealing these secrets, but threatening to erase them forever. And we've explored how understanding, action, and awe are all essential if we hope to protect this fragile world beneath the ice. The hidden Greenland reminds us of something profound. Beneath even the coldest, harshest exteriors, life, history, and wonder persist. And maybe, just maybe, it reminds us of something about ourselves too. That even when faced with challenges as vast and overwhelming as a sheet of ice 2 miles thick, there is always more hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered, understood, and cherished. The story of Greenland's hidden world isn't finished. It's still being written by the rivers that flow unseen, by the scientists who dare to explore, and by each of us who chooses to care. The only question is, will we listen before it's too late? If this journey beneath Greenland's ice stirred your curiosity, imagine how many more hidden worlds are still waiting to be uncovered. Share your thoughts. What surprised you most about Greenland's secret landscapes? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you don't want to miss our next deep dive into Earth's greatest hidden stories, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when new mysteries unfold. Stay curious, stay wondering, and join us again soon for another journey into the unseen.